So today we're arriving at our final session, our integration of this deep exploration of the elements. And over the past couple of months, we've taken quite a journey together, exploring the elements as a living map of both our inner and outer ecosystems. So along the way, we've encountered the transformative warmth of fire and the steady ground of earth. We journeyed with the fluid adaptability of water and breathed with the connecting currents of air. And last time, we rested in the vast, allowing presence of space. And throughout this series, we've returned again and again to the truth that these elements are not just out there or even metaphorical. We are, each of us, quite literally a living embodiment of these elements. The iron in our blood and the minerals in our bones are earth. And the water that makes up the majority of our beings is the same water that flows in rivers and falls as rain. Our inner fire, the warmth of our bodies is the sun's energy that's brought in through our food. I find that just so incredible. The air in our lungs. It is the shared breath of plants and trees across eons. And the spacious awareness that holds our thoughts and that space that exists inside our cells is the same boundless space that holds the whole universe and all of consciousness. And reflecting on these truths, we can see that this is a deep teaching on oneness and on interbeing. And as we've discussed, this is a core part of why the Buddha encouraged us to meditate on the elements specifically. So to see and feel the reality of our connection and our belonging to the whole. And this wisdom goes even deeper. When we see ourselves not as a solid, fixed me, but as a temporary, dynamic gathering of these 5 elements, it becomes possible to stop clinging so tightly to a fixed identity. And when we begin to loosen our grip on this illusion of the separate self, something so beautiful happens. We start to sense and to know on a deep level our belonging to this living world. In the words of the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, we often forget that the planet we are living on has given us all the elements that make up our bodies. We are a living, breathing manifestation of this beautiful and generous planet. Knowing this, we can begin to transform our relationship to the earth. We can begin to walk differently and to care for her differently. The earth is you. You are the earth. When you realize there is no separation, you fall completely in love with this beautiful planet. As Thai speaks so eloquently to here, this awareness opens the door to a new way of living. It moves us beyond the sometimes confusing and often contradictory ideas we might receive from all kinds of external sources about how best to befriend and care for ourselves and our world. And I think it's worth naming that in our modern society, we are often sold self-care or even ecological care as a product or as some specific prescribed series of activities. One more thing to achieve or buy, right? But having a fixed idea of what caring for ourselves and our larger body of nature means is not very different from clinging to any other fixed identity or belief. So it's this form of rigidity, and it moves us away from the presence-based flexibility to respond to what's actually here, moment by moment. And instead, this elemental map offers us a truly responsive practice of wisdom and compassion that meets us exactly where we are. And this, my friends, is the practical heart of our series. The elements give us a framework for understanding and meeting the needs of the moment. And it's not about achieving a perfect or static balance, but about being in right relationship with what is. And it's not just about ourselves, right? This would only reinforce the illusion of separation that we've been working to see through. It's about seeing ourselves, as a small, precious, ever-changing landscape, an embodiment of nature, and learning to care for this elemental gathering, this body, this heart, this mind, as part of the living whole. So it offers us a map towards a responsive, compassionate way of being with both our inner and outer ecosystem. And we might ask how? How do we practice this kind of responsiveness in a practical way? So it begins with meeting our experience directly, with kindness and clarity and non-judgment, that mindfulness that we've been practicing in so many ways. And then simply sensing into what is needed in this moment right here, again and again, and again and again and again. So when we sense, for example, too much air energy, when we're scattered and anxious or ungrounded in a tornado of thoughts, I know this one all too well. We may need to cultivate the steady, holding quality of earth by feeling our feet, or slowing down and returning to the body. Or maybe we sense too little fire energy, and we're apathetic or uninspired or cold. And we recognize a need to tend our inner spark by inviting more air or maybe more space to help us rekindle vitality and warmth. When we sense too much water energy, this can look like being, kind of flooded, overwhelmed by waves of feeling. We might need the stability of earth to create a safe container, or the vast, impartial holding of space to let the waves move without drowning us. And when we feel crowded, contracted, way too busy, like there's no room to breathe, again, this is one I know all too well. It's often an invitation to remember the element of space and to rest back into that vast, allowing awareness that holds it all. And remember the words of Pema Chödrön that we are the sky and not the weather. And of course, this wisdom extends beyond our individual experience. So when the energy of our world feels overheated with reactivity and division, as it so often does these days, right? We can invite the cooling, reconciling qualities of water. So listening, softening, allowing the heart to stay fluid, or the openness of space, which helps us hold differences with presence and perspective. And when air feels excessive or turbulent in our world, so it's full of noise and judgment, a relentless swirl of content that scatters our attention and disconnects us, we can return to the stability of ground, of earth, or the connective flow of water, and let ourselves land again in what's embodied and real. So in this way, the elements are guiding not only our inner equanimity, but our shared evolution, teaching us how to live in right relationship with the living world as it unfolds. So this journey has been a practice of remembering who and what we really are, dissolving the illusion of separation and rediscovering our belonging to this great web of life. And as we remember this, we begin to live differently. We can meet life with more of the qualities of our true elemental nature, so rooted and fluid, warm and inspired and awake. And each moment we can meet with enough presence and curiosity to sense what's needed, and enough clarity and wisdom to respond instead of react, becomes a powerful demonstration of care and healing for ourselves and our world. And when we forget, my friends, and we will, when in our precious humanness we can't meet a moment with curiosity and wisdom, the elements call us to remember that we already belong and that nothing in nature is perfect. And in that remembering, we've already begun to soften back into the openness of living presence. So as we turn towards our meditation today, this is what we're going to practice. We're going to connect with the wholeness of who we are as a living landscape of all the elements, and to remember our inseparable place within this great body of nature and all that is. Okay? So let's practice, my friends. And I'm going to invite you to take a minute to really prepare the body for a period of stillness, whatever that looks like. And beginning now this process of deeply sensing what's needed. So allowing the body, the mind, the heart to guide you in choosing a posture for our practice today. Taking your time with it. Being intentional with this sense of arriving here on purpose. When you're ready, you might close the eyes, soften the gaze. And we'll begin just by noticing that the body is breathing. And taking some moments to really tune in to those sensations. Feeling the movement of the chest and the belly. The coolness of the breath as it enters the body. The warmth as you exhale. It's taking some time to become intimate with the breath as it is right now. Nothing to fix or change. And noticing now the contact your body is making with the surface beneath you. Feeling those places of contact as sensation, so warmth, pressure, tingling. Acknowledging the vastness of the earth beneath the surface you are sitting on. Collaborating with gravity to hold you close. And letting go into that support. Allowing yourself to be held as fully as you can. And then zooming out to take in this whole body breathing. Resting between earth and sky. Part of this living world. And embracing all of it. And now we'll turn towards the elements. Not outside, but inside. Each one living in the body and offering wisdom, connection. We'll start with the earth, bringing your attention to the weight and structure of the body, the bones, the muscles, the skin. The solidity of your feet, your head, your spine. The density and form of your physical being. Sensing into the earth element within you. Grounding you like soil holding roots. And taking some moments to offer yourself the phrase, I am earth. Just repeating it silently to yourself. Feeling the truth of it. I am earth. Turning your attention now to the fluid places. The blood moving beneath the skin, coursing through your body. The moisture in your mouth, your eyes, your cells. The tide of sensation rising and falling. Can you feel the water element alive in you? Movement and flow. How it gathers and nourishes and cleanses. And then silently naming it, I am water. Beginning now to notice the warmth in your body. Maybe in the belly, the chest, hands. The fire of metabolism, digestion. This is the fire element, your inner sun, alive and transforming, full of vitality. Feeling that energy spreading through your body and recognizing, I am fire. And now feeling the breath. The inhale and the exhale. The rhythmic giving and receiving. The life force of the breath. Animating your body. The way air carries the vibration of sound. Inside and outside and in between. This is the air element. Invisible, yet essential. And noticing I am air. And now opening to the awareness, the space within and around you. The hollow of the mouth, the lungs, the belly. Space between heartbeats. Between thoughts. Pauses between breaths. Sensing the space that exists inside each and every cell of your body. This is the element of space. The vastness that holds it all. Open and allowing, receptive. You might name it. I am space. And now letting all the labels go. Simply feeling the whole landscape of your being. Earth and water, fire and air and space. Interwoven, interbeing. Not a collection of separate parts. A living ecosystem. And inquiring gently, not with the mind, but with the felt sense of the body, the heart. What is needed? Could be right now in this moment. Could be in the larger landscape of your life. Is something calling for more grounding? More flow? less heat, more openness. Rather than seeking an answer for these moments, just living the question, embodying it by sensing and listening. Allowing and trusting whatever unfolds. Sensations, emotions, images, knowing, all the ways that wisdom might communicate. Just making space to receive. And for these last few moments of the practice, just resting in the vastness of loving presence, remembering that you are a temporary gathering of elements, a living landscape, and a tiny, precious part of a vast and ever-changing whole. And we'll close with a poem called Made of This. You are made of this. Your tears once belonged to rivers. Your breath began in the bellies of trees. Your bones are kin to granite and ash. And the warmth in your chest first sparked in the sun. Even in stillness, you are a changing season. Not in the world, but of it. Held, inherent, home. Taking your time, coming back. You might invite a little movement into the body, some deeper breaths. When you're ready to open the eyes, you might do so slowly, letting in the light a little at a time. Reorienting to the space you're in. And our shared space. When you're ready, no rush. Thank you for your practice.